What's up, Matt? We back. I don't know if it's a good thing or a bad thing. I have no topic. What's up, CCC Spokesman? And hey, CCC, did your channel got taken down? Hey, what's up, 502? Hey, Mary, what's going on? I don't know if Kid Nurse is watching or not. Sometimes it takes a minute to get in here. What's up, Trust No One? Lala, how you doing, sweetheart? Lala, I got to get you on panel. How about it? It's kind of my thing is getting people. There's been what like five or six ladies that have never been on a panel before, and they came up with my panel for the first time because hey, let's all just admit it. I am a sexy motherfucker, right? What's up, Damone? Hey Mo, I'm getting ready to start a fire. We're gonna see, guys. I'm hurting too bad. I couldn't go out and get I couldn't chop to get to the dry firewood, so I don't have much dry stuff. So the fire isn't gonna last long. I'm not interested in keeping it going. So what we got here, I don't know if you guys can see it. That's just a glob of pine sap on a stick. On a stick. Oh, my camera's in the way. I don't know. Trying to get the shadow out. Anyway, that's a pine. It's a glob of pine shit. And then I was able to find some reasonably dry tinder. So what I really need to do, I'm hurting too bad, or I would have split all this up with my hatchet. But it ain't happening today, so this fire is not going to last very long. I mean, I've got fire starting supplies with me all the time, but I save them in case I have like a real emergency. Oh yeah, smell that turpentine, baby. So yeah, we'll have a fire for a little bit, but I'm just hurting too bad to chop through and get the dry stuff. Pain in the ass with one hand, but hey, realistically, you got to practice doing shit with one hand in case like you get hurt out in the wild. Not that most of you are ever going to be in that situation, but survivalism has always been my thing. So I make a lot of things with that pine tar. What's on my mind? As little as possible. Shit. Well, I mean, some of us, we're not all like you, Bick. I like to poop in my hand and throw a thing and throw it. Little fucker, he's doing all right. Hey, Mary, what's going on?
Hey,
How you
can you
doing?
hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm good. Your stream the other night, holy moly, it was really good. I was hoping Kid
Oh,
Nurse would come in here.
he might. He was around. earlier. I don't know what he's doing right now, but he could. I mean, people, sometimes it takes a while for people to come in. I mean, and a lot of people still aren't getting my notifications, or usually, well, not usually. Sometimes I would have about 3 times most. Yeah, I can't talk. Oh, I'm standing in the smoke. That's why. Um, yeah, I usually have like 3 times as many people, but my notifications aren't going out, so that's a problem too.
Mm.
But he could still join. Uh, let's see. Hold on. Somebody asked me something in the comments, and I lost it. I'm not good at this. So, what's on your mind tonight? Hello. Hey, Mary. We can't hear you anymore.
Oh no, I
Oh,
put my
there you are.
earphones in. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. I guess I can't use the earphones.
Okay. Well, we can hear you now. Usually, you have to use earphones, but you sound okay.
Yeah, I had to take them out in order for you to hear me. So,
Okay. Well, you sound just fine.
okay.
So, were you aware of my stream because of Torre, or are you usually watching?
No, I watch here and there, but when you go on late at night, I mean, I'm in upstate New York, so
Right, I
I
got
don't.
you. Well, we're in the same time zone. I'm just an insomniac.
Oh, I'm not.
So cool. I'm glad you liked it, and I'm glad you hopped on here. Is this your first stream?
It's the first time I've been here. Yes.
Right on. So, what's on your mind tonight?
Not much. I told you earlier when you were on, if you had a stream going, I would come up only because of my grandson.
Yeah, you said he had a heart failure.
Heart attack, and he was only
Yeah.
28 days old.
Oh my God. Was it like a genetic thing, or do you know?
They found out it to be two genetic issues with him. And my
Mm,
daughter since then has had 3 kids and no problems.
good. You've had enough grief in your life. You don't need any more, man. It's horrible. When my son was born, he had a few, like he had a hole in his heart, which I guess
Mm,
is pretty common. And
right.
they got it taken care of, and he was fine. Um, and then when he was learning how to talk, he just went deaf all of a sudden. Um, and like he taught himself how to read lips. So, but he eventually he tried to join the Marines, but well, obviously not when he was 3. But he recently tried to join the Marines when he got out of high school. But his ears are still so bad that they wouldn't take him. But like it hasn't really affected his adult life except for that.
Well, I have to say, my kids were brought up around somebody with disabilities and they learn hand signs. And
Yeah,
that's what my grandkids learned is they were growing up is hand signs. Thank you. More please. Eat.
hmm,
It was the normal thing.
yep, yeah. He lost his hearing when he was just learning how to talk, so it was hard to tell at first. And um,
Right.
mental, well, I know it's not PC, but this is what I call it. Mental retardation runs in his mom's side of the family. So she thought that, he had something like that. But I could tell it was his hearing because if I got behind him and I said, "Do you want some ice cream?" he wouldn't react. But if I got in front of him and he could see me say it, he would jump up and run to the kitchen.
Yep.
So he had a couple of surgeries and got his hearing back. But it was so weird
Good.
when he could finally hear, like, every little noise. Of course, trying to tell a 3-year-old, um, 3 year old, 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 3 ye just lay on the couch and not do anything. Good luck with that. But once he started, once the anesthesia just started really wearing off at home, like every little noise, like the furnace kicking on, every little noise, he would jump up and look around. It's like he'd never heard it before. It was weird. It was cool,
Right.
but. Oh, let's see here. I think I saw Kid Nurse in the chat.
Yeah, so did I.
Let me throw a link out there for him, because and really anybody else can jump up here too. I'm going to instate the rule tonight. I mean, you can disagree with the guest, but be respectful about it. If anybody's being a dick to any of my guests tonight, get rid of them. Whoops, dang it, I hit the wrong button. There we go, we back.
Okay.
And I got the link posted for Kid Nurse whenever he's ready. Well, guys, I didn't really expect the fire to take off like it did. I guess it did a better job than I thought, so we're not going to freeze to death. I used a lighter, but it would have been a one-match fire. So you're in upstate New York, you said? I mean, don't ever tell what city you're in, because
No. I
people
can
will.
tell you Herkimer County.
Okay.
Yeah, it's
I'm
Herkimer
not
County.
familiar. Okay. I'm not familiar enough with New York to know where that's at, so.
Well, dead center.
I got you.
But where I'm at, we're out in the middle of nowhere.
Obviously, I am too.
I know, I've seen your videos. Oh, yeah, it does. I don't have to go far to be in a pasture. I don't have to go far. We're hunters. We get the deer. We do the pheasants. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Oh, awesome.
It's normal here. Quite normal.
Yep. It sounds like I live in the exact same spot, only I'm in the Midwest.
Right now,
JFK wants to know how much snow you have.
right now we don't have any. We did have about 6 inches on the ground, and then right around Thanksgiving, it was like 50, 60 degrees, and it's gone.
Do you ever
It's
read
all
the
gone.
Do you ever read the Farmer's Almanac?
No, I don't.
Okay, I didn't know if that was a big thing. At one time, it was a big deal all the way across the country, and I think they still put it out every year. They give, weather predictions as to whether it's going to be a harsh year or not. They're not always right, but they're usually right.
Yeah, well, they can put it out there, but where I am, we can have snow here, go 10 miles down the road to the nearest town, and they don't have any.
Yeah, it's like that here too. We have a saying: if you use your air conditioning and your heating in the same day, you must be from Indiana.
I still use my AC at night, even though it's cold out.
What's up, Kid Nurse? You are on PTS FM. How are you today?
What's going on, Bill? Good to see you, man. Nice to see you, Mary.
Hi, Kid Nurse. Thank you for coming on.
Hey, Tony.
Hello. I've got a little bit of an echo here. Oh, yeah, absolutely. Hey, nice to, I guess, meet you. I've seen you some in chat.
I think your
Yeah,
little Kidners, Kidners, hop off and pause the stream and then hop back on.
Okay, gotcha.
All right, cool. All right, he'll be back. Well, that'll take care of that echo.
okay.
And let me double check my settings. If I kick myself off by accident, like I do a lot, I'll be right back.
Okay.
If that happens, you're in charge.
Oh my goodness.
You'll be all right. Just hold it straight, and it'll be okay.
Hey, Mary, I think I'm
All
back.
right,
Can you hear me okay?
I can. I can.
Okay, I think I fixed it then. I always forget to mute the chat, so it goes a little crazy on this end. So yeah, thanks for sharing your story, about your family member there, and that's very tough thing to go through. I can well appreciate that.
Yeah, and I heard the other night you actually worked with pediatrics, right?
Yes, I started as a neonatal intensive care nurse in 2000 and have been a nurse practitioner since 2013.
You know, when my grandson had his heart attack, it literally 28 days old. I used to be an EMT, so I worked CPR on him. He lived in my home with my daughter. The poor paramedic that ran that call quit right after.
Yeah, absolutely.
He said it took too much out of him, and he was a paramedic.
It's a tough thing. I mean, it really is, depending on I don't think any of us really have an appreciation for what some of these people out in the field have seen like that. And it's difficult, when you see a child, a baby that's so defenseless. I would like to think it gets easier, but it affects you in a profound way, where you want to offer some comfort to the families while at the same time kind of maintaining your own sanity. So it's really important that we kind of take care of ourselves also. I like to tell people it's like being on an airplane, and there's a reason the flight attendant will tell you put on your mask before you put on the kid next to you or your spouse. It's not because you're more important, it's because you're not any help to them if something happens to you. So it is a tough thing to see. And I was lucky that a lot of ours made it, of course, but a lot of them didn't. And when they don't, it's a very somber, a very in my mind, I had to tell myself, okay, when you're taking care of these postmortem babies, you're doing it out of a sense of honor, and the respect that comes with that was just so great that it did a lot to help me cope with seeing death and dying.
It's one of those things that you can, to a degree, and I've never been in that position, but I've had a lot of death in my life, and it's like, to a degree, you can build a tolerance or a desensitization to a degree. Like the way I feel about it, it doesn't get any easier, but at least after the first couple, like, you kind of know what to expect. Like, where you know what stages you're going to go through and the order you're going to go through them. I go through my stages, the first one's pretty quickly. It's that last stage of, like, the constant depression that doesn't seem to ever go away, like my anger and all that stuff, that all goes. When I was younger and somebody young died or whatever, like, I don't do it anymore, but when I was younger, I would like punch a wall or whatever, and that would end my anger stage. Um, as I got older, I realized it's not cool. But
I
yeah,
think
it
though
just
when it comes to a child, it's a different level.
oh,
Exactly.
absolutely. I was I'm kind of trying to gather my thoughts here. I was trying to imagine, and I got to stop living in my head. But I was trying to imagine like how much worse it would feel like with a child in your arms or your own child, and it just like to me it's unimaginable.
Let me tell you, my daughter, who lived in my home, just breastfed her son, and I'm upstairs in my bedroom, and my daughter comes running up the stairs. Mom, something is wrong. Now, kid nurse, tell me if I'm wrong. When you hold a child out in front of you, that death flail is prominent.
That's very true. Yeah.
Yep. And I saw that because, I don't know what's going on. She's frantic, hands me her baby, and I'm like, what? What? She couldn't tell me. I held him out in front of me. He did that death flail, and I
Mm.
instantly checked for a pulse. On my arm, he went. I started CPR.
Wow. And God, I hate to sound crude, but like, did he have like to me when I know somebody is gone, that they call it the death rattle. It's I don't even know if I can imitate it, but I don't want to imitate it. Um, but it seems to me in the deaths that I've been present for, like right at the end, they have a specific kind of breath that they
No,
exhale.
no, no. Because with Mateo, um, I worked CPR on him 6 minutes because it was a problem between where I lived, what ambulance is going to show up, which really pissed me off. But anyways, he was alive when I put him in that ambulance. And I even offered to ride with them, and they said I couldn't. Okay,
Hmm.
I'll take my own damn car, right? On the way to the hospital, which was only like a 20-minute ride, he coded again. They worked on him for 2 hours in the ER. And when they called it, my daughter held him. She lost her mind,
I bet.
medicated in a different room. Now I'm the one that started the CPR. Medical examiner is there. I'm like, can I hold him until you take him, please? He didn't make a sound. He was just gone.
Yeah. I can't. Like I've done CPR on an adult, but I know how to do it on a baby, but like you have to override the amount of pressure that like I was always afraid if I ever had to. I did Heimlich on my stepson, but that was pretty done over with pretty quick. But like you have to override how much pressure you would because you got to freaking break ribs and stuff. And I don't know with the adrenaline and everything, maybe it's easier, but I always wondered about that. Would I be able to use enough pressure on a child to actually be effective with the CPR? You know what I mean? Because you got to crack ribs and all that kind of stuff
Well,
to.
you crack ribs with adults. Honestly, you do. It's
Yeah,
known. You're
yeah.
going to feel it in your hands. Repossession,
Hmm.
continue. With my grandson, because it was only 2 fingers. I
Right.
did not feel no crack ribs. It's completely different. And I had him on my arm, laying on my arm.
Right.
He wasn't on a table, he wasn't on a counter. He was literally on my arm and no crack ribs. It's
Okay.
different because you got to do less pressure.
Well, yeah, I know how to do it, but because I it's expired now, but I've been CPR certified, and so I know how to do it. But I always wondered. I mean, I guess you do whatever you got to do, but like everything in your mind tells you don't ever hurt a baby, but then you have to use that amount of pressure to be effective.
Right.
That was always what I used to wonder about.
But with a
I guess
baby,
I
you
mean,
got to understand you don't press as hard and you don't use your whole hand or both hands. It's two
no,
fingers.
right,
Right. And in the course of like even younger babies, the preemies that I've run codes on, I'll put, use a hand encircling technique. We'll put both our thumbs kind of on their sternum and press literally. Like several people are saying in the chat, the bones in a baby are much more gelatinous, let's say. And if you look at x-rays, for example, the joint spaces are they have gigantic spaces in between these joints, and the bones don't get fully ossified until like age 25 or so, I think it is. And that's a reason why you see in adults much more cracked ribs and things. And incidentally, that's one of the reasons, one of the things we look for as signs of child abuse is if a person comes through an ER, for example, and they say a certain mechanism of injury, oh, they fell down the stairs or whatever, and they have a spiral fracture of their humerus or something, then you know that story is not consistent with the injuries. To be fair, it takes a huge amount of energy to
Exactly.
to break baby bones or toddler bones. So that's one of the kind of big red flags that come up if babies or toddlers or even pediatric patients sometimes, if they come in with broken bones, we always want to we're extra alert to their mechanism of injury. How did it happen? So we can expect a certain type of injury, but based on the history, if that doesn't jive, then we pretty much know straight away that yeah, this is not adding up. It's probably abuse of some type.
right. Yeah, I when my son when my stepson was I think he was in his terrible twos, and his terrible twos were terrible twos. Turned out to be a great kid after he got out of it, but he would scream so hard that like his whole head would look like a giant put his whole head in their mouth and gave it a big hickey, like all the way around. It was like he would scream so hard he would bust blood vessels. And we were always scared to death they were going to think we were doing something to him. I mean, he was a very active. I mean, all 2-year-olds are, but he was kind of like above and beyond. You know what I mean? So he was constantly like he fell a couple times and busted his head open on the coffee table. I get called at work. Hey, we're going to the hospital, whatever. So, and that happened like several times. I was scared to death that like they were going to get CPS involved or something. You know what I mean? It never happened, but it was just a scary time. And that's the same kid when he was in first grade, and he's very smart. I don't know why the hell he did this, but he took his mom's keys and stuck them in an outlet. And I wasn't home for that either. But my youngest son saw it and said that it blew him across the room. And when I went to the hospital, he looked like Wile E. Coyote. His hair was all standing out. He had black, like he wasn't burned too bad, just a little bit on his fingers and like a little bit on his foot, I think. But so he wasn't burnt bad, but he still had black on him. Looked like Wile E. Coyote. Oh man. They said that the only thing that really saved his life is she had those plastic covers, the color-coded covers on her keys. And Oh man, I mean, after all the stuff that happened to that kid, I was really worried that CPS was going to come knocking.
Sound like he was all boy.
Oh yeah, he turned out to be a very docile adult. I mean, he's pretty tame now, but right, all my kids turned out to be great adults. I don't know how, but they did.
Right.
How many kids do you have?
3.
I raised 5.
Oh wow. I'm betting that you probably have Excedrin in your medicine cabinet.
No, I was married for all 5 until the youngest was almost 2, and boom, raised them myself.
Yeah, I don't understand dads that just don't give a shit that they have kids. They don't ever want to spend time with them or, help out money wise. I don't know. I don't get that.
I mean, I did get child support. He took them every other weekend. I mean, my kids love their dad. I made
Oh,
it a
okay. So
point
he's in their
not
life.
to speak bad. Huh?
I said, oh, okay, they're in his life, or he was in their life. So that's, yeah.
Yes, and I made it a point not to speak bad about him. So my kids
Yeah.
had no idea. I
Yeah, I
was
tried
not
that
going to
with
be
my
that mom.
kids. I tried to be that way and I never spoke ill of their moms in front of them. But with my son's mom, it wasn't really a problem. Like even when we were splitting up, we just hardly ever argued at all. So with her, it wasn't a problem. We still love and care about each other. My daughter's mom, on the other hand, was trying to move her out of state without me knowing about it. And it turned into a big old legal battle, which, I mean, I won. I got everything I wanted. Usually in court, the guy is fucked. But she actually wound up getting screwed in the deal. So,
Well, I got to tell you, my ex-husband and I, with the 5 kids, and trust me, he's got another ex-wife with many more kids, but him and I, we talk about everything and anything. It's perfect now. It's
good.
perfect. I mean, I'm glad I didn't speak ill about him during those years, because my youngest son, who is now 25, lives with his dad and loves it.
Good. It's so much easier when the parents cooperate and you're just like, oh fuck yeah, it's not good on anybody, the parents or the kids. People get
We didn't
wrapped up in hate.
we didn't cooperate when the kids were going there every other weekend, but it took them as being adults that him and I should say, once he left his second wife, then he came to me and apologized.
Hmm.
Then it became good. I even see his stepson come here every other week with my son. No relation to me whatsoever. Is my ex-husband's son, right? I treat them
Yeah,
like my kids.
it was like that with me and my stepson. Even after his mom and I split up, we still, because I raised him from the time he was like 6 months old. So I mean, I usually don't even say stepson, but for clarification of our conversation, that's why I'm doing
Right, right.
that. Because
I
he's
mean,
mine.
Elijah is no son of mine. It's my ex-husband and his now ex-wife is their child, but it's still a half brother to my kids. Hell yeah, I'm going to treat you like one of mine. And I do. No, JFK 63. He did not find out the grass was greener on the other side. He was 33, married a 19-year-old who had 3 kids at that time, ended up having 6 more.
Oh, wow.
And then he went in for cancer surgery. She left him for another guy. So apparently the grass is not greener.
Well, it always is at first, but then when we get to that greener grass, we realize that it wasn't us fertilizing it. So we get lazy and we don't fertilize it the same way. I don't know. That's how I look at it.
I don't know. When I had my 4th kid, I almost died, right? And I was told if I have any more, I will die. Well, I took that chance. Number 5 was a C-section, thank God. And while I'm on the table, and I was an EMT, I'm like joking with the doctor, the whole 9 yards. Don't you dare forget those tubes. He goes, I'm taking them out right now. I said, you better. And that's what killed my marriage. Because I chose not to have any more. My ex apparently wanted more. See ya.
Did he have some kind of grand plan to take over the world with his feet, or?
I don't know. He's one of 8. I'm an only child, and I was adopted. He's got 5 with me, and he's got 6 with her, and 3 stepkids with her. All the more to you. No, thank you. Now I live by myself in my daughter's house, but in my own area with my service dog and my cat, and I'm happy.
Nice. I don't know. I need to come up with some kind of plan because I am too old to be living out in the fucking woods. I mean, I love
How
it out
old
here.
are
It's my
you?
favorite place in the world. 49 and a half.
Oh my God, I'm older.
Are you?
Yeah, 54.
Yeah, probably have
My
to take
oldest,
us out in the pasture and shoot us.
my oldest child is 34.
My oldest is 24.
Got married when I was 17 and had my first one when I was 20.
Oh, damn.
Mm-hmm.
Did your parents have to sign for you to get married?
Absolutely.
I don't think I could do that.
Well, my dad was a pastor,
Really?
and I had already left the house. He didn't want me to live in sin. So, of course, him and my mom did sign, gave me away, the whole 9 yards.
No, JFK, I don't need a wife. I hear that all the time. You just need a good woman to straighten you out. And it would probably work because, when you're in a relationship, you kind of have to give and take a little bit. But I'm so used to just being a complete asshole and not answering to anybody. I don't know. I mean, I could pull it off, but
Hey, 502 Underground Media, how do you know me?
I think Mary had been comments that he was friends with you on Facebook, perhaps.
Yeah, and I don't have maybe 30 or 35 friends on Facebook. I got rid of everybody, so Bill,
okay,
tell
tell
her
her
in
in private.
private. I don't know how
Yeah,
you
you don't
can,
want to
hon.
you don't want to be throwing out your identifiers out here. Don't leave any
No,
clues.
no, no, no.
Let me see what if he said something before. Sorry, guys, I haven't been watching the chat very well. I don't know. Mary, do you have a like an Instagram? Well, you got Facebook, I guess. Yeah, well, you guys are already in contact, I guess.
Yeah, I have Facebook. I don't have Instagram. I don't have Twitter. I don't have any of that. So,
Yeah, I don't have Twitter either. I didn't have any social media until I got wrapped up in the predator catching stuff. I had no Instagram, no Facebook, nothing. Yeah, actually, I was with my son's mom for 15 years. We were engaged, like a year after we started dating, but we just never got around to getting married. Oh, tell her who 502 is in private. Okay. Um, fuck, dude, I'm drawing a blank with the concussions. I've got CTE or whatever the fuck they're calling it now. So names don't stick to my head,
oh,
but it
hold
will
on.
come to
Hold
me and
on.
I'll.
Somebody just messaged me. Got it. Okay, I know who. We're good.
Oh, okay, wait a minute. Yes, that's it. Yeah. Kidner's put it in the private chat. That was I thought it was first name, but not his last.
Well, I don't have private chat, but I just got a
Yeah,
Facebook
yeah.
message.
No, there's a private chat in here.
Oh, okay. Is that must be how I got it then.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Mary, are you on your phone now or a computer?
My phone.
Okay, I gotcha. Well, I'm not going to be much help to you then. I've
Oh,
got
geez.
my computer open for StreamYard, but I've got my phone on silent. I'm trying my best to watch chat. And so I was going to tell you how to look at it on your computer, but
Oh,
yeah,
it showed up on my phone screen.
good. Okay.
Yeah.
I can't walk and chew gum at the same time, so I'm missing a lot of comments and stuff like that too. So
Oh, I know. He can't even. Man, I don't know how much I should say on here, but well, let's just say he can operate a ball gag like nobody's business. There we go. Can you guys hear the oxygen getting sucked out of that fire?
Bill letting all my secrets out.
All right.
Hey,
I'm getting messages
hey,
that. Oh, go ahead.
Kidners, thank you. I needed your help.
Oh my gosh, of course, Mary, you're very welcome. You're very welcome. And something I started to add earlier is there are, we forget, and Bill actually touched on it at first, talking about grief, said that he still deals with certain stages. Well, whether it's divorce or whether it is death of a loved one or a friend, same thing is there's 5 stages of grief. And frankly, I couldn't remember all 5. I had to pull it up. Denial, anger, bargaining, depression, and acceptance. Okay. So the thing most people don't know about grief in those stages is that it is completely normal to revert back and forth. You might think that, okay, I'm over the anger stage, and then something will happen. It doesn't matter what it is, a memory, a dream, even something, and you'll revert back to that for a period of time. And it's important to allow us the freedom to do that. Is perfectly okay. It's a normal stage of that grieving process that we kind of backslide and sort of get back into a stage that perhaps we had not fully dealt with before, even though we thought we had.
You know, when my grandson passed, I wanted to carry his name on. In our area, yes, we got the American Red Cross, but in our area, we did not have the Little Hats, Big Hearts. Have you heard of it?
I've not. No.
Little Hats, Big Hearts? It's people who make crocheted, knitted red hats for infants.
Oh, yeah.
I have.
It's
Yeah.
pretty common in almost every facility. I just haven't worked in one that's called it by that name.
Yeah, it's called Little Hats, Big Hearts. We did
Okay.
not have it locally. And heck yeah, WUTR, Utica News, came to my house and did a story on that
Really? How
because
nice.
I started that in the area.
Good for you.
And then the American Red Cross took over. Okay, have it. It's yours. You know what I mean?
Oh, that's too bad. Yeah. Well, what a great thing that you've done for people. You know, that's wonderful. And I know how much the parents appreciate it too, because those are, and we as nurses, we get a kick out of it, you know, dressing the babies up. Somebody will come by and donate a bunch of, maybe they bought Santa stockings or Santa hats. Even we've made pictures with the babies for the parents of them in a, for example, you know, a stocking of some type or something around Christmas, and the crocheted things. It's really touching whenever, in most of the hospitals I worked in, because I was a travel nurse and worked really all over, and you would see a lot of them that were volunteer groups, like older women would have a group maybe in their local church or something that would get together and do that, and it was always a
Hmm.
great time whenever we got a delivery like that.
I mean, it was tough. Basically, it was just me doing it. But I had that willpower to do it for my grandson. You know, and I didn't want what he went through. I wanted other parents, put it that way. I wanted other parents aware an infant can have a heart attack. It's not old people.
Yeah, absolutely. And what we find, generally speaking, is that, you know, usually, friends, somebody had asked in the chat earlier, I'm not doing a great job of chat, so I'm sorry I'm not seeing everybody's, but somebody mentioned about SIDS, and SIDS
Mm.
is usually early enough that, you know, they're not able to roll themselves over, for example, this kind of thing, and so normally they're fairly beyond that age of risk if they can do that. What we find in neonates is that, you know, they're different than adults in many ways, but chief primarily is that adults will have like theirs will be an electrical, a conductivity problem. That's why you have to shock an irregular heartbeat back
Right,
into existence. If you
right.
have no heartbeat,
Oh yeah.
you
I've
have to
had
do
that done.
chest compressions. Oh yeah?
Where,
Yeah.
where my grandson, it was genetic.
Right.
Um, he had two issues that we found out with his heart, and the one issue was controlling his heartbeat. That's a big problem.
Yeah. Most of the time in neonates, we find that it's a structural problem, not an electrical problem that they're having. It'll be some type of patent foraminovalia or something like this that didn't close, or transposition of great vessels. It'll be a structural thing that will either be undetected or it will be surgically corrected, and totally different than something like adults have. And the same thing goes for coding. You know, that you code an adult, they typically have a, yeah, I don't want to say great prognosis, but a pretty fair prognosis. By the time a child or a baby codes, they compensate for a long, long, long time. Hey, my blood pressure is going down. Hey, my heart rate is getting higher. I need your help. They're sending you all these messages in form of their vital signs. So they compensate for a long time, and then they'll just fall off the edge of a cliff. And it's very, very, very hard to resuscitate them, generally speaking.
Right. And I gotta say, the child my daughter had right after him, the hospital, our local hospital was like, nope, you're not coming here. Nope, nope. They do
Yeah, I
heart
got kicked out of
testing,
a hospital
but
because
they
my
did
dad.
heart testing.
Well, COVID. They're like, my dad was. I got a call. They're like, hey, if you want to see your. Then I've been called 3 times to. They're like, hey, if you want to see your dad alive again, you need to go right now. So you drive like a bat out of hell to get out there, only to have some freaking power tripping little security bitch trying to stop me. Yeah, wasn't good.
No, what I was trying to say was, my daughter's second child, they would not allow it at our local hospital. She had to deliver in Syracuse because they wanted to make sure immediately there was no more problems with the second child that she had with the first one. That makes sense?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. They did all the blood work. They did all the everything they needed. And that grandson is 6 years old. And oh my goodness, he's my baby.
That's amazing. And it's great, that with your former medical experience too, that you were there for your daughter and things like this. And it's something that definitely, it profoundly changes you forever, going through that.
Yeah, my poor son, who was only 19 at the time, had to make that 911 call. And he's trying to tell me what they're saying to do, and I'm yelling back at him. That poor kid. Now, my son is 6'5", right? He yells back at 911. My mother is a retired EMT. Next thing I hear is 15-2. I'm like, got it. That's all they told him. 15-2.
Yeah, and sometimes having medical knowledge can be both a blessing and a curse,
Yeah, they're trying to tell my son to put him on the counter, put him on the table.
Right.
No, he's on my
that's
arm. I mean,
a while
he's
back.
literally.
The American Heart Association changed the way from the way I was originally taught. The American Heart Association tried to. I don't know if it's changed everywhere. Just I don't know, but they said skip the breaths. I don't know if that stuck or what.
Yeah, they're telling you that now. But I mean, it's my grandson. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Oh yeah, no, I get it. I get it.
I did both. And trying to tell me to put my grandson on the table or the counter. No, he was, am I wrong, kid nurse? He was so small. I'm 6 foot tall, so I've got big arms, right?
Damn.
Mhm.
Yeah, so hello. His head was in my hand. He's on bones. It's hard enough. That's at least what I was taught. Am I right?
Yeah, I guess just out of habit and reflex, I would probably have put him on a table, but I certainly can understand why you wouldn't. I mean, even if it had been, your grown spouse, let's say, or something, it would be difficult for you to turn loose of that person. So I
Oh
certainly
no,
respect.
no. A grown spouse would have been on the floor no matter where I was.
Right, right. But I just know in the heat of the moment, I'm sure that that was not kind of going through your mind, you know.
When your adrenaline gets
I just
going, you
remember
just
from what I was taught, an infant can be on your arm and be productive, which it was. He was alive when I put him in the ambulance.
Right, right.
So
And the thing about CPR regulations is that they meet ever so often, every 2, 3 years, whatever. And I think they come up with changes and updates, maybe not always based on the evidence-based practice. And I explain it to parents that I teach. We used to have to teach basic CPR to parents before they left the NICU. And I told them all the same thing. Look, when it comes down to it, doing something is better than doing nothing. And if your child doesn't have a heartbeat, you need to give them one in the form of chest compressions. And the main thing is get someone on 911 while another person is doing compressions. And that CPR, the thought being that CPR in 1974 saved, if it worked and saved people just as well as 2022 CPR, then really doing something is better
Right.
than doing
I've
nothing.
known of overdose cases where people took a baseball bat or even the handle of a hammer and smacked somebody in the chest to hit them hard enough to bring their heart back. So I mean,
Oh, that was very
really, as long
common
as
back in the day. Yeah, it was
oh,
called
the
pericardial thump.
cardio,
Yeah,
yeah, the cardio thump.
Mhm.
they would
We
just
were
rear
taught
back with
that.
their fist and just, yeah.
Yep, we were taught that. But you cannot
Yeah.
do that on a baby.
Oh,
Oh
right,
no, you don't
right.
want to. No, you wouldn't
Not
want to
at all.
smash the little fucker.
No. But with the pericardial thump, you have to see the person drop of a heart attack in order to use it.
Well, I mean, in an overdose situation, you pretty much already know what's going on.
I don't know. Kid Nurse, does it work for that? I believe that's Narcan, right?
Yeah. No, it
Yeah,
does work. I've known people that have done it and had it done to them.
Oh, wow.
I literally cannot comment on that because pericardial thump is way before my time. I'm familiar with the concept, of course, but Narcan, if you've got it, but you've got to think in the times when pericardial thump was the gold standard, there was no such thing as Narcan. There was
Exactly.
epinephrine.
Exactly. Yeah, at that time, if you were allergic to bees and you had an EpiPen, there you go.
Yeah, the thing is, though, I'm talking about like overdoses specifically. Fucking strung peep junkies, people that are starting out don't carry shit. No, nobody's gonna have that. If
Right.
you're
And
partying with
I don't,
somebody in your apartment and all of a sudden they start turning blue, I've known it to be a few times. Not necessarily all baseball bats, but they would just find something. They're not CPR trained. You know what I mean? They just know that if your buddy's turning blue, you got to get that heart pumping again. You got to get breaths into them or whatever. Even though the American Heart Association, see, this is something that I always questioned is when you breathe into somebody's mouth, you're not really giving them oxygen. You're giving them carbon monoxide, right? So I always question as to how that's really going to help. You know what I mean? Because you're not giving them oxygen. So
Well, but
yeah, I was wondering about that anyway.
well, what you're exhaling is not, maybe 100% CO2. That's the thing. Just like the air that we breathe in is not 100% oxygen. It's about roughly 21% oxygen, give or
20,
take.
yeah.
The rest is like nitrogen and some other gases, inert gases, and so forth.
Right. But my question is, whatever you're breathing in is not really what you're breathing out because it's been processed. And what you
Correct.
want to
Yeah.
get into the person, ideally, if you have a bag, you can do it, or an oxygen tank. But nobody carries that shit. I mean, I do, but most people don't. So yeah, you're not. I would question that anyway. But then the American Heart Association, and I'm not saying who's right, who's wrong, because I don't know. I'm a jackass. But they did say, don't worry about the breath, just get the heart going, and once the heart gets going, then the breathing will come or whatever. But so I
Yeah,
mean, I don't know.
that's what they're saying now. When I was an
Mhm.
EMT, I had a bag in my car, and we only had a mask, like a filter to put over their mouth to breathe for
Yeah,
them,
yeah,
to
so they don't
protect
puke down your
ourselves.
throat.
Yeah, to protect ourselves. Um, Now they're saying no breath at all.
Right.
I mean,
Yeah,
like
I
I
mean,
said, I'm
I've
54 and I was an EMT in my early 20s. So,
Yeah. There's
yeah,
a
like I said, I have had all that training too, and I've only actually used it twice, plus a couple of Heimlich things that didn't need CPR. But I don't know. I don't think there's any one right answer because they keep changing it. You know what I mean? It's like the experts don't fucking know. Um, and like I was trained just like you are, Mary. I still will do it that way because it's what I know.
right,
Um, but I mean, doing something is better than just letting them lay there. You know what I mean? And something
right.
else we were talking about when you tell somebody to call 911 the way I was taught was you have to actually point to somebody and say it, because if you just say it, everybody thinks somebody else did it and then it doesn't get done. So people, if you need 911, you point to somebody and tell them, and then you go to work on them.
Yeah, but the saying is you call 911 and then start compressions.
Yes.
You don't rely on
If
somebody else.
well, I mean, it depends on like who's there, really. It's better to have somebody, because I've talked to 911 a bunch of times, and sometimes they ask you stupid fucking questions before they even let you get to the point. You're like, I just need an ambulance to this address, and then they
I
start asking you
mean,
really dumb fucking questions.
it's like in my situation, um, I I said, and I had my daughter and my son right there, call 911. And my daughter obviously couldn't. My son ended up doing it. I immediately started compressions, CPR, immediately. So I had people there to help me, but I had to see that, I had to see him on the phone. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah,
You can say it, but if somebody doesn't do it,
right. That's why you appoint somebody. Because
mhm,
if you just say it, and if you're in a crowd of people and you just say it, nobody's going to do it because I think somebody else did
right,
it.
right,
Well, the beauty of modern times is that now most every person, even teenagers, have cell phones, and you can slap it on speakerphone and throw it next to the person's head and talk to the 911 yourself if you're there by yourself.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean,
Well,
I
I
have a
know
lot of respect for 911 operators, but sometimes they fucking ask, and I know they got a reason, but it's just like I need, in my experience as a fugitive recovery agent, there were times where shit just hit the fucking fan, and there's things are going on that need immediate attention, and you're trying to call for backup, and then they ask you the dumbest fucking things. It's like, I'm gonna be dead here in about 30 seconds if you don't hurry the fuck up. And
sorry, sorry, but
yeah.
the ambulance company I volunteered for, we answered our own calls before 911 was in existence. And
Mm.
we did have to follow protocol. So I'm so sorry.
No, I understand it. I understand that there's a reason, But when you are, when bad things are going on and you've already given them, like, you give them the address and what's what, they sometimes ask questions that even after the fact, I don't see how they're relevant. You know what I mean?
Right.
Right.
And the fact that they repeat certain questions,
Yes.
it's like, can we just give 911 operators like a class in paying attention? It's crazy that you have to repeat. You'll give them an exact address, 102 Anywhere Street. And what's the nearest the cross street? What?
Yep.
What am I, Magellan over here? I don't know. I mean, I gave you an
Yeah.
exact address. Don't you have like some
Yeah.
computers or people that
Well,
know how to
Yeah.
do that?
like Kidners with my grandson. Our address was one village, but we lived in the town of a different one. And they were trying to decide who's supposed to go.
Oh my God. Yeah.
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 6 minutes.
Yeah,
It's
I mean, one situation in particular, this dude was barricaded and threatening to kill himself, and I switched from, gonna take your ass to jail mode to, okay, just let's calm down and talk mode.
right.
And I had my partner slash boss, who was a little tiny female, but she was meaner and shit when she had to be, behind me, and I'm trying to talk this dude. He's got a knife to his throat, and I'm sitting there thinking, okay, I could probably pepper spray him and rush him before he can. All these scenarios. So she gets on the phone to the cops, and they're asking, like, okay, what color's his shirt? I'm like, it doesn't fucking matter. It's the guy locked in. Oh, shit like that. I mean, just like a lot of it.
Right. Right.
What kind of knife is it? It's the fucking. Oh, it's the one to his goddamn throat. You know.
Yep.
It's a 3.5-inch Spider Code Delica. I mean, give me
Yeah,
a break.
right.
Just
Yeah.
can we find,
Yeah.
just dispatch some people and we'll figure
Get me
this
an
out
ambulance,
later.
because I just wanted an ambulance in case I couldn't talk him out of it. Which, this is a long story. Ah, fuck it. I can't remember what his original charge was. It was drug related, and he was all messed up. So we go to his house, and it was just going to be a chill knock on the door, say, "Hey, buddy, let's go to jail." But it didn't work out that way. I'm leaving a lot out, but he ended up barricading himself in a bedroom with a knife to his throat. And I'm trying to talk him down, because we're trained in de-escalation and all that kind of thing. So I'm trying to talk him down, and I really just wanted an ambulance in case he did it, and then we could do something for him. I mean, yeah, I carry first aid shit on me, but I'm not a fucking ambulance. You know what I mean? So, anyways, we're negotiating. He's got his knife to his throat, blah, blah, blah. Freaking cops. I had him chilled. He'd finally, like, lowered the knife. He still had it in his hand. But, like, he was going to put it down, and the freaking cops, like, I could see him kind of through the bedroom window lining up and stuff. I'm like, oh shit, this is gonna go bad real quick. And like the dude was going to put the knife down, I believe, and then they fucking busted the window, spooked him up. Yeah, big dog pile. Anyway, yeah, they were. I'm not even gonna tell the rest of them, but fuck it. Yeah, somebody's got an echo.
It's not me. I don't have any noise.
Yeah, I can't hear myself think when the echo's going on.
All right. I'm going to head out. Okay. Thank you,
Yep.
Kidners. Thank you, Bill.
All right, take it easy.
Okay.
Absolutely. Thank you, Mary. Nice to meet with you and speak with you.
Thank you.
All right, I appreciate you coming on and telling your story. That not the easiest thing in the world to talk about. All right, I feel like I don't know what I feel like doing. A fucking headache. I shouldn't have screamed. Now I got that fucking headache coming on again, but I don't know. What do you guys want to do? Want to hang this up, or you want to talk about something else? I got a lot of DMs today. Yeah, some of you are in here, and I would rather, just be a done deal right now, honestly. But if you guys want to get some shit out, we can do that too.
Bryden, I see you in chat. Yes, I did. I got a notification for your premiere maybe like 5-ish minutes ago or 10, something like that.
Oh, Brighton's going up. What? Like now?
It said that there was a premiere of some type. I didn't look at it. I just remember seeing it pop across my screen.
All right.
He was asking if anybody got notified.
I'm kind of looking at mine. Yes, I do have a notification, but I can only see like the top line. I can't tell when it's going on.
God love technology, right?
Mm-hmm. Put it up 2 hours ago, and I just now got the notification at 9 o'clock. That's what StreamYard does, though. They don't notify people. Like, it'll show up in people's feeds, but you don't get an actual notification until a half hour before it starts. So if anybody wants to gripe and argue for 15 minutes, we can do that. Mary, you didn't bring anybody down.
My goodness,
It's
no.
just it's a serious subject. And I don't mind having serious subjects on my channel. I mean, it's heavy, but and I know everybody wants to see the drama bullshit, but I'm sick of it. I constantly caught up in this, that, and the other. Can't say I'm a big fan.
Yeah, it's nice to get away from drama ever so often, and everything in moderation.
Moderation. That's like, you can't do this our drama in moderation. It's either you can't talk about it at all, or it's going to be full on. You know what I mean?
Yeah, true. And mainly what I was talking about, you can't keep things serious all the time, and there surely to goodness can't be drama all the time. But if you just think about it
No.
logically, I mean, if 1% of the population are degenerates, then if as your community grows, you're going to have more and more people that fall into that 1%. It's just kind of goes with the territory. You're never going to be 100% insulated from drama, sadly.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we can talk about Ryan shit for 15 minutes. I just don't want to ramble on about it. I'll close this down before Brighton's premiere goes up. So people, oh man, there's so much shit that I don't bring up, but sometimes I feel like I should. Get a lot of pressure from the outside in DMs, you know what I'm saying? I don't easily bow to peer pressure, but I don't know. People are asking me, why is Mackenzie getting away with everything that when she said the same shit that Brenda did? Well, the answer to that is, I don't know. I mean, there are people that want me to go in on her, but I really don't want to. I really want to be done with that shit. I mean, if they come out on me again, I might, but And another thing too is, like I never showed any of the text messages between Mackenzie and me, and I goddamn guarantee you she don't want that. But Brenda said, "Hey, go ahead and show our messages." So I did, and I told her if I start showing one, I'm going to show a few of them. Show what a fucking nutbag you are, and you ain't gonna like it. And they kept up their shit, so I threw out some text messages, and I proved that she was a liar before Locksmith and Edward proved she was a liar. And then after that, I couldn't even tell you how many people have come forward and they're like, "Oh, I'm sorry, I believe that," and yeah, they're both bitches and all this kind of whatever. But hopefully it's over with, and I hope that Ryan learned a lesson. I really do, and I don't mean that in a mean way. I know you did, JFK. A lot of you had my back the whole time, and I deeply appreciate it. In fact, most people I think saw through the bullshit. Um, Most of the people that were talking shit about me just kind of were doing it because there was something there. But yeah, a hell of a lot of you had my back the whole time, and it will not be forgotten. I can tell you that much. That's the thing. People like FBC, Ryan, who else? I mean, all these people come at me with shit that's not 90% of it's not fucking true. 5% of it's true, but nobody's business. And the other 5% is shit that I said, but taken completely out of context. And there's a lot of shit out there that is true that they could come at me with, but like they don't. I don't know why. Maybe because they know I'm just gonna tell them to go fuck themselves, but I don't know. So yeah, I mean, I've been asked that a bunch of times. Why is Mackenzie allowed to float around and do whatever? But like, I'm not trying to go after her. But yeah, as far as her saying that I manipulated her into uh, coming out against Mr. Peanut Butter, she already had those fucking messages that I showed before we ever talked about it. And then what about all the other girls? One of them even came up when Ryan put me on trial and said, "Yeah, I was one of them." I mean, Bobby Joe has always had my back. I appreciate her too. So yeah, she. Oh, and as far as her saying, we used to be very friendly. Um, very friendly in a personal way, but not like dating or anything. But a lot more than she would let on, but less than. I mean, she invited me to stay at her house, and I didn't go. If I really wanted her that bad, I would have went. And then there were times where we planned to meet up, and one of us would back out at the last minute. Most of the time it was her. Sometimes it was me. So it just never really happened. So yeah, she said that I manipulated her into coming out against Mr. Peanut Butter. And the way they tell it, I've got some kind of magic power over everybody. I've manipulated you all, right? Come on. Now, I'm not saying I'm not an asshole because I am, but 90% of the shit that they said was not true. So I don't know. I'm not telling anybody to give anybody else a hard time or nothing like that. I just want it to be over with. Do I have to? Yes, it's called cocaine. So I don't know. Yeah, we got 10 minutes left. If you guys want to ask me anything about that whole situation that's in question, go ahead. I have no reason to lie about any of it. Uh-oh. Here we go. What's going on?
Oh shit! We've got a helicopter inbound.
Oh shit. You're on PTSFM. What's going on, man?
That is right now. I am trying to understand why you are so self-deprecating when you're obviously not a bad person, but you cannot see the good within yourself.
Well, that's because there's not much there. I can see it. It's just very small.
That is what my wife tells me on a daily basis.
Well,
Are
it's
you
her job
aware?
to make it bigger.
Are you aware of who this is?
Yes.
How the fuck does everyone always know?
We know by now, Ray.
You're really
God.
good. You are really good, man.
Yeah, he is.
Your voice changes are perfect. But it's not about the physicality. It's about the telepathic connection we have, and you radiate it to everybody. So I mean, we're picking up your signals, man.
Well, I don't know. I caught the tail end of it, and it sounded like Bill was standing against an island, so I just came up to be on panel next to my buddy Bill, because everybody loves to storm the castle Frankenstein, and people seem to think that as long as they're not, if they can hide in the crowd of those doing the canceling, then they themselves won't get shit on. So, you know, fuck with the platitudes. I stand with Bill, at least today.
until I appreciate you, man.
It depends. It depends how big of a following someone has that decides you need to be destroyed, at which point I'll reassess. But can you tell me real quick why peanut butter was mentioned? I'm reading the comments. How did his name get brought up?
Okay. Well, I mean, you know about the whole how I exiled Mr. Peanut Butter, right? You know the whole story.
Oh yes, I do. He was basically telling women, like, you need to do this for me, and I'll get you a wrench, or I'll get you in trouble, like, pay for play.
Yeah, shit like that. Asking for nudes and blackmailing people to try to get a wrench. Like if he thought that somebody was in with a catcher and he didn't have a wrench in that room, he would tell her, okay, like this one in particular, she told him a bunch of personal shit about her husband and how unhappy she was. And he was always like, oh, come to me, tell me your stuff. And then he would use it later to blackmail him and try to get a fucking wrench. Shit like that. So like when Brenda and Mackenzie and Ryan came out against me, something I told Ryan, I said, these ladies used to whisper into my ear and I fucking cut contact with them. Then they tried to say that they got contact with me. That was all bullshit. I proved that. And then Mackenzie said that I manipulated her into coming out against Mr. Peanut Butter. So apparently I also manipulated all the other girls that were saying the same thing. I mean, they were just doing anything they could to try to make me look bad because things didn't go their way. So sorry, Dragonfly Wings, but that's the way it is.
What did Dragonfly Wings say?
That the Dragonfly Wings is Mackenzie, the one that said that I manipulated her into coming out against Mr. Peanut Butter.
But it is confirmed, right? Peanut Butter did like fucking target these women and do some fuckery.
Yes, there have been a few that have. See, a lot of them, when they came to me, a lot of them didn't want to be identified, so I've never mentioned their names. There's so much shit that I know, but I can't use because the people don't want to be involved. So, yeah, I get fucked a lot in that aspect. But
it's funny that the guy who's the most sexually inappropriate in the chat is the one who does the most to protect women. Actually, you're a walking paradox, Bill Powell.
Yes, I know. I'm an oxymoron. Mostly the moron part.
Better than being a moron on
The
Oxys.
thing is, well, I'm that too, actually. Or I
Okay, well,
was.
then there you go.
No, the thing is, like, yes, I flirt with a lot of women. I make a lot of sexual jokes, but the women that I flirt with, like, I don't flirt with women that don't want to flirt. You know what I mean? I don't ask for nudes. I don't send dick pics. I mean, there's been a few ladies that have sent me pictures of their boobies, and I am very grateful. But I don't ask for them. I don't pressure anybody in anything. I can read a room. You know, if she don't act like she wants to flirt back, I don't do that to that particular female. When you're using it, sexuality as a weapon, that's a different story than using it to fuck around and have a good time.
I would. I think everything. This community, as a whole, I think we need to reevaluate the definition of the word context. And
Right. Right. Yes.
Because I had said something today in a chat, and I said the difference between Tommy and Alex is I said Tommy comes across as a good guy, is a nice guy. Alex is a good guy. You know, I was trying to say Tommy put on a good. You were there?
Yeah.
Did
I
you
heard
know
that,
what I
yeah.
was trying to say?
100%. Yeah.
Yeah, and there was someone like, this guy literally said Tommy Fellows is a nice guy, and I'm like, Jesus, like, you know, are we all that literal? Like, do we all have an underlying, you know,
Dude,
autistic comprehension?
You're 100% right about context. I get burned on that a lot. Oh, you said this. Well, no, that's not what I was saying. Read the message before it and after it, and then tell me what you think. Yeah, but there are people that will say shit like that. They will just look for anything they can, and they will twist it. And especially, there are a lot of people here that like they can't think outside of a box. They do take everything literally. I get burned on that a lot myself, man. So I get it. I knew what you meant. Oh shit! Somebody wants to come up. Oh, no.
Sorry, Bill.
Huh. Oh, okay.
You know,
Okay.
sometimes like when you touch the phone, it takes you out of the stream.
Yeah, I do that all the time myself. Yep.
It's like I'm trying to go to another window. I was trying to pull up a chat, but yes, like we were saying, man. You know, people definitely need to give people a little bit of room to communicate and to have. If you're gonna have people talk on panels like Locksmith and Edward, and like, I mean, dude, I'll even give Tommy the benefit of the doubt. If you're gonna have people talk for 2, 3, 5, 17 hours at a clip, you know, if you give someone 15 minutes to splice together a sizzle reel, you can make anybody look like a saint or a sinner.
That's a fact. It's happened. FBC did that shit to me constantly, man. I don't even know if you are aware of how many fucking videos they made about me that was 90% not true. And you know, I've got a lot of people that used to hate me because of those videos, but then they realize it's bullshit and they get to know me, and now we're good. You know, we talk, you know, pretty much daily.
Well, and I mean, I think you know me enough, especially from back then. I always formulated my own opinions on people. I never let I never fell victim to mob rule, you know, like where like the enemy of my friend is my enemy. It's just not my way.
Right.
No, and I think that the whole community could learn, you know what I mean? Like if, I don't know, but then again, there's age, there's maturity, there's wisdom, there's a whole bunch of mitigating factors. And
oh, absolutely. People
you know,
are so.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
You go ahead.
I was gonna say everybody gets a trophy now. When I was growing up, you had to earn your fucking trophy.
When everybody's so special, fucking, nobody is, Ed. No, nobody is, Bill.
Right.
That's and you know, I know that you're not a hippy dippy liberal, so I hate to politicize it, but you know, some of it kind of boils down to that, right?
Yeah. I was just thinking. I don't know, dude. My fucking concussions. But no, Smashley, I never hated you. See, that's a part of the problem with this community is like, oh God, I do not want my channel to become the Tommy hating channel. We have enough. They got it covered. But Tommy, I've been around this community for, I guess, going on about 4 years, right? And there's always been drama, especially when Alex is involved. But I've seen such a huge fucking divide, and it's like Smashley, like Damone, like Cat Isaiah, a bunch of others. By design, we're supposed to hate each other just because of the divide. You got pro Tommy and anti Tommy, and I do not like that divide. I've gotten to meet some good people like Smashley from quote unquote the other side, and we're good, but we are told that we should hate each other, and I don't operate that way.
You mean you actually make opinions for yourself? You don't just blindly follow the herd?
Fuck no, man.
Dude, you can't do that in 2022. That is illegal.
I know it.
You're gonna get yourself canceled for having original thought.
Dude, I've been canceled like 30 times. Here's the thing about being canceled is you have to consent to being canceled.
Unless they take down all your pages and everything that you have.
Right.
You know,
Now, when you're talking, when you're talking about that kind of level, yes, you're 100% right. But see, look at how many times Alex has been canceled by YouTube, and he just keeps coming back. He didn't give up.
I would say that's probably true.
Had he given up and not kept trying, yes, he would have allowed himself to be canceled. I mean, were you around when that whole thing was going on, where they were trying to paint him up as a racist and?
Yeah, I'm like 90%
hater.
sure that the kid went to a historically black university where he played football.
Yeah, all of his friends are not white.
Well, Constantine's his friend. Constantine and Dream Floral, like those two guys counted like 9 white people.
Okay, white people don't claim Dream Floral, and Constantine's not technically white because he's from Ukraine.
Are they not white, Eastern Europeans? Or Eastern Europeans
I'm just saying they're not like us, boy.
Okay, fair enough. I don't know. The truth comes out in the wash, man. You know, Rami's career has pretty much hit the bricks. You know, Tommy's kind of like the Democratic Party. We're just having more and more people Tulsi Gabbard their way on over to our side of the fence, and that's cool. You know, someone can sound clip that and post it to him. That's fine. If he asks me, I'll tell him that's exactly what I said. You know, the truth doesn't need to be defended, Bill.
Well, I'll tell you what, man. Like when Ryan came at me for 6 or 8 months, and like I could prove that he lied. I could prove that Brenda lied. I could prove that Dragonfly Wings lied, and I would post it, and then they would just act like it's not there. They kept saying, prove it. I'm like, I posted it, and I tell them where I'd post it. Dude,
Joe Biden literally suffers from dementia in public every day, and his son is in bed with Ukraine with fucking crack pipes and hookers, and they just people want to remain blind.
Yeah, I can only aspire to be a Biden.
That's people don't want to know the truth, Ed. It's they want to be the greater fool. And Constant, there's probably only like a dozen people in the community I would actually like talk to offline. And, most of the people that you said to be careful of, you were correct. And I don't know, that's, I'll stay subbed to your channel. I might hide my subscription so no one sees that I'm subbed, but I'll be lurking. So.
No. Oh, I don't blame you.
No, I don't give a fuck, bro. Constantine said the same thing. Like you have to admit yourself that you're going to be canceled, and it's really nobody that has a big presence in the community that's hiding behind a keyboard, making fucking meme videos and hate shit.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I've been shadow banned anyway because I usually would have 2 or 3 times as many people in here. Maybe not for the serious stuff.
12 people in your stream normally?
Like people just aren't. Yeah, I've been up over 120 before. I mean, for me, that's good, But like people are still saying that they're not getting my notifications. So I don't know. But I'm not really in it for the numbers. I'm just saying that I think I'm shadow banned.
I don't see if Alex or Locke or Ed. I don't see any. I have to search their name to see if they're live.
Yeah.
Like when I go to YouTube home screen and I go to live shit, none of them come up as live.
Yeah, that's what people are saying about my channel, or they don't get a notification until it's halfway through or it's over or whatever.
Well, you're okay. I'm okay. And here's the cool thing too. I can be a fan of Bill Powell and not hate NVCap. And I don't think that you really give a shit.
No, sir. Not one iota. Dude,
Right,
if I
that's-
gave a shit, I'd be a nervous wreck.
Yeah, that's I mean, if anybody truly likes me, they would unfollow Bad Guy and Constantine right now because they're both horrible people that need to be destroyed. But
Well,
Yeah,
you know, people say that I have a lot of power in the community. So if I look with the snap of my fingers, I can cancel anybody you want. Just pick one.
uh, anybody in the community, huh?
Yeah, just pick one. I'll cancel them right now.
Cancel them right now. I'm trying to think. This is a
Mhm.
thought-provoking question. Put me on the clock. I got 15 seconds. Anybody in the community, huh? That's
Just for-
Bill
okay,
Evans.
how about-
That Bill Evans is just a mean person, man. He's so evil to everybody. We need to cancel Bill Evans.
Okay. Just to prove
So-
a point. All right, Bill Evans is canceled. All right, they're done.
Everybody passed the memo. Constantine says, nah, Bad Guy and I are just the top player pimps in here. You don't want no smoke. Bro, yo quiero todo fumar contigo. No tienes una idea, Bad Guy. But I do like some of the new people since I left, Bill. Like I
What's
would
that?
say, I said I do like some of the new, like, I'd say Bad Guy's probably like my favorite of the new people. Like I left for a year and,
Oh,
me,
you
Locke,
came back. You came back to a fucking mess, man.
Yeah, I don't even know why I left.
Well, I mean, I kind of remember. I know what I heard, but I don't know if it's true. And I don't know if you
Oh.
want to. If you don't want to get into it, then don't.
What did you
but,
hear?
I don't know if I don't really want to say the detail because I don't even know if it's true. But oh man,
If you feel it's better not
The
to be
per- the-
said, then don't.
yeah, because I don't know if it's true, and I don't want to bring up a bunch of bullshit that's going to cause problems between you and a certain other person. But there was a lot of shit being said about you as to why you left, and I don't remember all the details. I just remember you're being slandered pretty good, and I didn't think that it sounded right. I don't really know you that well, but from what I do know, it didn't sound like something you would do. I just remember thinking that.
Yeah, that's. I would say that's probably accurate.
Yeah, I mean, dude, I keep my ear to the ground. That's like we had that talk, and I told you, hey, be careful, blah blah blah.
Yeah.
And you said it worked out. 95% of the time, I'm accurate with that shit because I keep my ear to the ground. And part of it is just because I have good instincts about people. Yeah, I mean, like I haven't done a Bill Powell prediction in a long time, but I used to be able to go like on Locksmith's panel and say, okay, this is gonna happen, that's gonna happen, and most of it would come true. I don't do that anymore, but yeah.
Yeah, I would like one day to chat offline and just kind of have that talk. Yeah, I mean, there were people who like reached out. It was, and me and a certain person, or I would say that we're pretty tight again. And I don't think
Good.
either of us would say we have many friends in the community, but we actually communicate with each other.
Good.
But yes, I think you are. Everybody. Anytime anything happens, people just love to gossip, so they don't.
Oh
They
yeah.
don't have to look at their own negative shit. It's much easier to look at it of someone else's. And yeah, I definitely am. I definitely am curious. I'd like to hear. I don't even think I want to.
Yeah, you don't want me to spoil the end because there are some spoiler alerts.
With me?
No.
Oh. Well, what else do you got to say to your loyal fans before you sign off tonight, Bill Powell?
All right, everybody. Do you want to say it with me, Ray?
No, it's all you.
All right. Oh shit, I forgot. Yeah, we're stepping on Bryden's premiere. Everybody go check out whatever Bryden's got going on right now. Thank you all for coming. Appreciate you. And as always, stay fucking naked.